stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So before we get started, I need to make one quick announcement. By mandate of the governor, who is actually the superintendent of the schools as well, we're required to have masks in the building. I know that there are a number of you who chose not to, and I'm not going to try to kick you out or anything like that, but I will make a statement that you're on your own if something happens and we get a COVID spread from this. The district will assume no liability, and it's your choice to be here in that situation without that mask. So all right, first thing on the agenda is to appoint a new board member for Crawfordsville. So we do have both applicants here. Sorry, I'm trying to gather my paperwork. I got pulled aside for a little bit. So we have Jenna Northern and Dale Keene. I actually asked for our superintendent to come up with a few new questions so that we could keep it as neutral as possible, so those weren't coming from the board at all. So she did. She came up with a few questions, and I think the way I'll do this is I will ask probably you, Jenna, first, and then Dale, the first question, and then go to Dale, the second question, you, Jenna, and then the third one, you first, and then Dale, the second on that. So if that works for you guys, okay? And I might just have you, step up to the microphone there so that we can do this. And I'm not sure that I can read this with this light. So first question, in the course of preparing for this position, what have you learned about Sweet Home School District?
So what I've learned from Sweet Home School District has not been from preparing for this position, but it's actually been being on the ground with our students and staff weekly and helping assist them with the needs of our schools and community. But with that being said, Sweet Home School District is constantly moving in different directions and adjusting adequately to fulfill the needs of our students, teachers, and staff. We have experienced a lot of change in the last few years, and together as a district, we are working hard to continue to support one another. Thing keeps moving on. I don't know if you know how to fix that, but.
All right, and Dale? So in the course of preparing for this position, what have you learned about Sweet Home School District?
A couple of things. Some of them I already knew, but growing community, estimated population according to the Census Bureau as of 2019 was 9,977. Median household income was 43,589. Persons in poverty is 20.7%. We struggle with a declining enrollment. However, we did do well in retention of students during COVID-19 compared to other districts. Our graduation rate is climbing, and part of that is due to the efforts of the school district staff and the credit recovery process. And we have a resilient community.
All right, thank you, Dale. Dale, I'll do this next question for you first here. So what specific experience with previous boards do you have, and how will it help you in the role of a board member?
Goodness. So I former board member for Sweet Home School District. I'm former board member of the Sweet Home Alumni Foundation, former LBL ESD Budget Committee member, and I formerly Boy Scouts of America Commissioner for this area. My board member stint has taught me the hierarchy of the governing body. I was an officer of the board at one point, I was in contract negotiations, and I served on the search committee for both for our current superintendent, but prior superintendent also. As a former member of the Sweet Home Alumni Foundations, participated in fundraising, had to think outside of the box on how to come up with funds for scholarships, and then determine recipients of scholarships upon their paperwork. As far as the LBL ESD budget committee, I served as an officer on that. I also directed multi-million-dollar funds as far as accepting the budget, moving it forward to their board, and it gave me an insight into line item budgeting and how in the school districts and ESD that there are protected funds that just because you have a overall budget amount, you can't necessarily spend it the way you would like to because it is key marked. Thank you.
Thanks, Dale. Jenna, so what specific experience with previous boards do you have, and how will it help you in the role of a board member?
All right, so formerly I was Holly PTC president, currently co-president of Hawthorne PTC, secretary of the JBO board, Lewis Creek project development, several panels for hiring teachers, and I was included on the superintendent search. I'm very successful at being a part of a team and helping making our vision come true, extremely resourceful and a go-getter, helped with plenty of planning and budgeting and keeping us on task. Leader when needed, and whatever task I'm giving, I complete it to my fullest ability. So full support on whatever direction we're going.
All right.
Staying?
Yeah, go ahead and stay up here. I'll ask you the third question here. So what are the responsibilities of school board members, and what experiences do you bring around these areas?
Okay, so this is a little long-winded. I kind of feel like for myself, this is a little bit of a loaded question. On every school board that I've ever been on, there's very distinctive roles. Without being seated on this board, my very best answer would come from the literature that you guys have created. While reading through the board's member responsibility, these are the things that stood out to me. The school board policy to help the district achieve the goals and success for all of our students. The school board hires and supervises the superintendent, allocates resources and staff professional development for aligning with the goals and strategies that's based on the superintendent's recommendation, increasing programs, elective, and alternative education options, to increase visibility in our community, to attend district and student events, to provide a safe and welcoming facility that provides a learning atmosphere and that prepares our students for an ever-changing world. The board receives regular updates on activities or bond activities and provides appropriate oversight on bond expenditures aligned with the bond implement plan. All in all, the board's primary responsibility is to establish those purposes, programs, and procedures that will be best produce the education achievement needed for this, sorry, excuse me, I'm jumbled. All in all, the board's primary responsibility is to establish those procedures, programs, and purposes that will best produce educational achievement needed for our district students. As I mentioned above, the visibility in the community by attending the district and student events. Not only do I attend these events, but I volunteer countless hours, financially support by personal donation, create a positive environment and welcoming students and staff to our schools, as well as support our teachers in their needs for supplies and funding in all of their classrooms. So that would be my understanding of that question.
Thank you. All right, and Dale, same question. What are the responsibilities of school board members, and what experiences do you bring around these areas?
Let me name the areas first, and then I'll get into specifics. There's 5 areas that I'll denote. 1, set the vision and goals for the district. 2, adopt policies and that give the district direction to set priorities and achieve its goals. 3, hire and evaluate the superintendent. 4, adopt and oversee the annual budget. And 5, to manage the collective bargaining process for employees of the district. Excuse me. So the first area, I've served as a board member. I worked on the strategic plan for the district prior to this current one. And I've helped adopt board goals in the past also. For adoption policies, I have helped craft and adopt board policies and administrative rules for this district. Hiring and evaluating a superintendent. I've been on the hiring process for 1 superintendent and 2 interim superintendents as a board member, and was on the selection committee for the current superintendent. Adopt and oversee the annual budget. I've been through several budget cycles with Sweet School District as a board member. Adopted and set tax rate and on several budgets for LBSD budget committee. Have had to make cuts due to the recession. We explored how to fund the pool. Used to, we as a school district funded it solely. Now it has its own. And with that, also had to make decisions around the budget concerning school closures. Manage the collective bargaining process for employees. I was on 2 negotiation teams with the certified union for the district, and was on the negotiation team for the first 2 contracts with the charter school.
All right, thanks, Dale. All right, we've had a chance to ask questions and hear from each of the applicants. So I'll ask if we have any discussion around anybody or any follow-up questions for either one of them. Now, I just want to check and make sure. Who do we have online via Zoom? Jason and Sarah, okay. So we've got 6 of us. So we do have a quorum. So in order to proceed, we will need to have 5 votes for one of the 2 candidates. So if we're not getting any discussion or any questions, then I guess I will open it up to a ballot, and Jason and Sarah, we're going to text their votes to Julie, and then Julie will hand them up on that. So.
Jason, the electronics are out not to answer other calls, but they're up because we're looking at our agenda,
Right,
because they came late today.
Yep.
You might explain that to people.
Yeah, so I'll just pass on what Jim was saying there real quick. We've got a couple of board members that didn't receive their packets. The mail was a little bit slow this week, so they've got electronic versions of it that were emailed to us. So that's the reason for those being out. Thanks, Kevin. And we're 3 and 3. Which way do we proceed? We've got 2 options. We can try again, ask any questions, follow-up questions, whatever we want to do, or we can turn this over to the ESD. They're the ones that would have the job of appointing a board member for us under these circumstances.
I wasn't here the first time, but this sounds like this is the second round.
This is the second round, yes.
So it sounds to me like it's probably not going to.
We're, yeah, pretty much in the same boat as we were last time, so.
So can you explain the process for everybody to understand the way it works?
The process of,
If it goes to ESD?
if it goes to the ESD, basically the ESD goes through the same process that we have. We hand over the two candidates. They ask questions of the candidates, interview the candidates, and then.
What's the ESD?
It's the Education Service District. It's the regional district that helps us with different services that maybe it makes sense to split between districts and that type of things. So they handle some special ed services, different things like that for all of the districts in the area. So by policy, this is the process that we go through. So,
Who's on that? Who makes the decision?
those are representatives from, I believe there's 7 board members, all the way from Lincoln County, Benton County, Lynn County, all of the school districts within there. They're elected by the community. Our representative, I believe, is out of Lebanon, is where our representative is from, but that really means nothing. They're just there to support us in situations like this, so.
Jason, this is Sarah Hoffman online. Can I ask the candidates a question?
Absolutely.
Awesome. I just want to know if they could answer what they've done to support our district, like give examples or maybe even just one example, including supporting our teachers.
Okay, you want to handle that one, Jenna?
Can you repeat that, Sarah?
Sure. Can you hear me okay? Radio silence? Okay, sorry. I just want to know if you guys could individually answer, like give examples or just one example of something you've done to support our district, and maybe specifically our teachers.
One example. The most current example I would have is we just received a new principal at our school, Hawthorne, and the other president and I went into our school to welcome all of our students and decorated the school and welcomed our principal and have full support, went over all the agendas, PBIS, everything to help support our particular school and what this, what the new principal needed to feel welcome to our community, etc.
Okay, Dale?
I've helped both teachers and staff at Crawfordsville when it was in session and at the hall, and have been to various events to the district to support teachers and staff.
Thank you both. I appreciate it.
I guess the next question is, did that make any changes on anybody's vote?
Yeah, I'll leave it up to consensus, if this is something that we think we can get resolved tonight, or if we just hand it over to the ESD board and start next board meeting with a new board member.
I think we should do another one more ballot, and if there's no changes, and we pass it on.
Do one more ballot? Okay. Is there a couple extra papers over there? So Sarah and Jason, I'll have you go ahead and text in again to Julie. We haven't moved, so my recommendation is we hand it to the ESD and let them sort it out. So I apologize to the two of you. I know we've had you come down for a number of these situations. Lisa, would you be able to contact ESD and find out the process, what we need to do there? And we'll get them over to that. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I just, this is the process, so we'll go with that. All right.
Do we need to make a motion to do that, or it just?
No, it's the policy. So that's the policy that we're following, so. All right, so we have an agenda before us here. I don't believe we're handed any changes, so would need a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the agenda? All right, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I heard ayes out of Jason and Sarah there, so opposed? All right, motion passes. So we'll move on to public comments. Real quick, I want to go through some things here. Just as reminders, looks like we've got a little bit smaller crowd than last time, but I want to say, number one, I do appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate everybody being involved. The reason why we're here in this larger building was because we had a request to hear from the public, and so this was the best option that we had with our restrictions with the Zoom and all of that stuff. So just a reminder that the purpose of this meeting is for board business. It isn't necessary that we take comments. It's not required by policy or by law, but we feel like it's necessary to do it tonight to make sure that you have a chance to give us your voice. Normally, board comments would be tied to the agenda and the agenda items. We're going to relax that a little bit tonight. We realize that there are some things out there in the district that aren't necessarily on the agenda, and so we're not going to stick to that rule necessarily. But we do ask that we keep it relevant to the school system and what's going on. We also do ask that in the interest of time, you limit your comments to roughly 3 minutes, and that gives everybody time to say their piece. And so I think that's all. So I don't know if everybody got comment cards, if we have anybody handling those, or if I just open it up and ask for. Okay. So I will invite anybody that would like to come to the microphone, and when you do, please state your first and last name and address, I believe, for the record. That way we can record who's giving the comments.
Hi. My name is Will Martin. My address is 37675 Sunset Lane, Brownsville, Oregon. So, I have a couple things to say. My first and foremost problem is with the masks in school and how the parents are being treated for trying to protect our children. Every one of you here, I believe, are appointed, not appointed, but put in your seat by the people of Sweet Home. I may not be correct because I'm not up to date on how all these politics run. All I know is I care about my kids and I care about my freedoms and my kids' freedoms. And it is a known fact, there's so many studies out there, 36 the last I checked, that prove that masks do not help and that they actually are more damaging for our children for being in a mask for 8 hours a day, not only medically, but mentally. We cannot keep doing this to our children, and we have to do something to change it. It needs to be a choice. You all made a choice when you put that mask on today to sit here at this meeting. That is a choice. And it should be a choice for us as parents to send our kids to school with a mask or without a mask. If you want your kids to wear masks in school, that is your choice to protect your children how you think is best. And just like it's a medical choice for me to put a mask on or to not put a mask on. It doesn't matter if you've been vaccinated or not vaccinated, they've proven that. You can still give it, you can still get it. It doesn't matter. So why are we forcing our children to wear a mask and inhibit their breathing when they're trying to learn, or trying to be in class, or trying to socialize and become the people that we need them to become and grow up to be? And whoever, which I know you guys are allowed to speak while I'm speaking, but just know, what that little stunt of keeping us out of the building is not going to keep us quiet. One. Two. I don't know when it came up on the website, because I was checking daily, because I put out flyers and make people know when these meetings are, so we can be here and make sure we know what's going on with our children. That was not up till recently. I think this room would have been packed if I would have had the knowledge and everybody else would have the knowledge when this meeting is where it is. It kept saying that it was on Zoom and it was on YouTube, but no location on the calendar. So we just really kind of found out for sure that it was here or over there. We're going to protect our kids. You've tried to keep us quiet, we're going to get louder. And if you keep fighting what the people of Sweet Home want, we will replace you. You all can be recalled. And it only takes about 500 signatures, 15% of your votes. I'm not afraid to do it. So you need to start listening to the people of Sweet Home also. There are children that you guys are making these decisions for. Thank you.
Good evening. We've spoken before at the last school board. There are so many concerns that we have that involve the school, and right now my biggest concern is the mandated vaccine for the teachers, and I believe it's coming to all of you next because it's federalized now, right? My biggest concern with that is, first of all, nobody knows what the vaccine is. Nobody knows what the vaccine produced. Nobody knows, does anybody know if the vaccine itself causes COVID? Can the vaccine technology shed from person to person through contact or proximity? How many deaths contributed to the vaccine? CDC reports for in Lane County. Is this an isolated event? Is there scientific proof of an isolated event? Will the vaccine genetically modify the teachers' bodies? Does the vaccine do anything to the human brain? Is there risk of blood clots from the vaccine? Is there risk of heart inflammation from the vaccine? And does the vaccine cause harm to the female reproductive system? Do spike proteins settle in the uterus? If we're fortunate enough have to contact COVID, what are the chances of survival with the vaccine? I have many nurses that are whistleblowers, friends of mine, and you know what they're telling me? They're telling me that the people that are in the hospital now from COVID, the people that are in the hospital are from the Delta variant. But here's what's interesting, because there's no test for the Delta variant. The test that they use for the Delta variant is the COVID test, and the PCR test is 17%. You know what it says on the test? It says not to be tested for COVID. It says it right on the test. And I don't need any more education than going down to the pharmacist and purchasing any single vaccine, and you pull out what's the ingredients are, and that's what it's going. I don't know if any of you have done that up there, but I would recommend that you do. I am concerned. I love the teachers of this community. I think what's happening to our teachers, what's happening to the nurses is atrocious. So I looked up some of the things that the CDC is saying is in the vaccine. It's a type of genetic molecule taken from monkeys that have the virus. It causes cells to manufacture. The big spike protein of the coronavirus that the pathogen uses to blend into a person's cells and gain entry. The body reacts to it, possibly leaving you immunized and ready to repel the full virus. It has azithromycin, which is derived from ammonia. It has hexane, which is derived from gasoline. And I can go on, I guess I don't have that much time. But my question to you is, there has been a bait and switch that is done on this vaccine that supposedly Biden has approved. The approval of the vaccine is not out yet. The one that they're using, the first batch, is what they're putting into our teachers. It's what they're putting into our nurses now. And I guess that's what's going to come to everybody else. So I'm just concerned that nobody's talking about this, that they're mandating, which is completely crimes against humanity. Because if you don't even know what's going into your body, if you don't know what's going into your body, you won't know if you ever have children again. All because of, do you know what mask they put on when you paint? Do you know what mask they put on when you're around radiation? But the deadliest virus in history puts a little cloth piece over your face? This is communism, and it was corrupted in our country, and I know you guys are worried about being defunded, but parents are going to pull out their kids. They're pulling out. When government fails us, we the right of the people. If you know the Constitution, you're all teachers, you know this. The right of the people is to get their own government put into place, and that's what's happening. That's what's happening. We want our society to work, but if we're not being heard, and we know that you guys want the money, the parents are going to start pulling their kids out of school. I just want you, and I'm pleading with you, to hear us. Before it's too late. Before you see mass crimes against humanity that's being written on the various websites right now. I have a friend, she's 30 years old. She's 30. Coming to her wedding. She's had both shots. She's in heart failure. She's in kidney failure. She's in liver failure. And her heart doctor down here at Samaritan says, I'm leaving. Today's the last day because this is mass murder. She's magnetized. You put quarters on her body and it sticks to her. I have videos of this and I know this woman. Her life's over. And this is what's coming to you. This is what's coming to our teachers and our kids. We're just wondering, is the money worth it? That's all I have to say.
Our children are our teachers. The teachers should not continue with force to take a vaccine just a simple choice. They have rights, and the choice shouldn't be by coercion, of course. The latest info about the COVID testing administered in schools is very problematic to me. I would like to know if the Sweet Home School District plans to opt into the program or stay officially out of the program and be far from that. I know that there's a program you can opt into or opt out of. I expect you guys to opt out of it. I am completely against someone shoving a swab in my child's nasal passages, to put it lightly. In fact, it's done without my permission. I can't begin to explain the fallout that would ensue, as I will see it as a direct assault on my child. I, along with many others, will fight for our children. There isn't anyone that I will fight harder for, and I will die for my country. So you are welcome to make your own judgment on what I will do to protect my babies. Our city council, along with our mayor, city managers, and our city manager, spoke up and wrote a resolution via our voice to stand up for us as a community, and they had overwhelming support from the community to do so, both at the council meetings and at the town hall. It was in fact unanimous in that not one person spoke against it. Not one person said that they didn't want freedom and liberty of choice. At the last school board meeting, it was very much the same. And as our elected board, and I believe we, expect you to do the same. I understand that you guys believe that you're doing your job by listening to the orders and the mandates given to you, but that simply isn't the case. Your job is to be our voice. The voice of your constituents, and indeed, and that is indeed your only choice. We aren't simply asking you to opt out of this program for testing. We're to do so as your voters, as your constituents, and as the parents and protectors of our children. There is no other choice, and there is no better time for you to stand up for the liberty and the safety of our children. Make the correct choice for our children and for the future, and for our futures, before no longer we have the ability to make the choices for Americans. The fallout of the incorrect decisions made at this important time in history could very well shape this country for the future to come. Stand with me, or you're standing against me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Young. I live on Clark Mill Road here in Sweet Home. Moved here a couple years ago. It's a beautiful little town. I want to tell you thank you for the opportunity to talk to you today, and I appreciate what you're all trying to do. I truly do. I believe it's a little misguided, but that's my opinion. That's the beauty of opinion. It's the freedom that we have. A couple things I'd like to share. The first thing is, has anybody read the side of a mask box in this council?
I'm sure we all have.
Okay. So for those who haven't,
we can't answer questions. I'm the only one who can answer questions.
So I'd like to just present this. The warning label on the side of a mask box. It specifically states, this product is an ear loop mask. This product is not a respirator and will not provide any protection against COVID-19 coronavirus or other viruses or contaminants. That is on the side of the mask box. There. So that's, I mean, we follow the science. That's all I'm asking you to do. And the only other question, and the only statement I have to make is, why are we only listening to one side of the science? That's my only question, really. We've got two different options here. So it's okay to make kids come here and put a mask on. Why don't we have the kids who are terrified and the parents who want to terrify their children, keep them home and let the kids come here and have a normal school? That's all we're asking. Those who aren't afraid to commingle and be a part of it, there's children that just want to have their high school years. That's all. That's why are we only listening to one side of the science? Why are there 10,000 doctors right now suing the WHO, suing for false information. I'm just saying, there's two sides to every story. And as educators, I believe that's what we're supposed to do when we form hypothesis, when we're supposed to be able to figure out things. You got to have a starting point. And I truly believe we need to let the medical community do this. I truly, wholeheartedly believe this. But when we're only listening to one side, something's not right. And I'm just asking that we got to free the kids, let them have their lives back. If the people are afraid and we want to put masks on their kids, I'm all for that. Let them put a mask on their child. If they're that afraid and they don't want their children to mingle, stay home. Let the kids who deserve to come to school and shouldn't have to wear a mask come to school and not have to wear a mask and live a life. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is Kim Lapham. I have 4 children that should be in this district. I have withheld them due to COVID-19 policies and mandates. I received a text message from Hawthorne Elementary on August 18th regarding the mask mandate imposed on the students in facility. Interestingly enough, they informed us that they were in compliance with the ADA, the Rehabilitation Act, the IDEA, but failed to inform us of whether or not the mandate or policy is in compliance with Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act in regards to religious discrimination. As followers of Christ, we are not permitted to engage in ritualistic idolatry. We are not supposed to surrender our religious liberty in exchange for safety and other gods. 1 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them, as labor pains upon pregnant women, and they shall not escape. For the lawyers that say rituals forced upon the public does not discriminate, because it applies to everyone, that is the exact reason it is discriminatory. I am not an extension of you. My religious beliefs are mine and cannot be regulated or put to a government test. Don't get me twisted. I am not here riding coattails. I'm walking in faith and sacrifice as my husband is in his 5th week of administrative leave without pay from the U.S. Postal Service for objecting on religious grounds to a coercive mask policy. I am not here to wake up the sheep. I am here to gather the lions and lionesses of Judah. We don't need the sheep to lead us into slavery. We need lions to lead us to the kingdom. Jesus tells us in John 14:6 and 7, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know me, you will know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him and have seen him. In John 15:12 and 13, my command is this: love each other as I have loved you. No greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. In Matthew 19:21, Jesus answered, if you want to be perfect, go sell your possessions and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me. I cannot and will not, with a good conscience, send my children to a building that my taxes pay for, but I may not enter freely, or that it would sacrifice their liberty for my convenience or paycheck. I hope that each and every one of you will reevaluate your positions and ask yourselves, what are you bringing to the altar? Is it your time, your paycheck, other worldly possessions, or is it the rights belonging to others? You all took an oath to protect the Constitution, and yet you're standing here, sitting here, allowing a domestic enemy to slowly pervert the law. I'm simply here to ask that you repent, you seek his face, and stop looking to the world for the answers. Jesus has already led the way. Revelations 18, 1 through 4. After this I saw another angel coming down from heaven. He had great authority, and the earth was illuminated by his splendor. With a mighty voice he shouted, "Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling for demons, and a haunt for every impure spirit, a haunt for every unclean bird, a haunt for every unclean and detestable animal. For all the nations have drunk the maddening wine of her adulteries. The kings of the earth committed adultery with her. The merchants of the earth grew rich from her excessive luxuries." Then I heard another voice from heaven say, "Come out of her, my people, so that you will not share in her sins, so that you will not receive any of her plagues." Another thing we must consider about the vaccines, I'm also involved with nurses that are protesting the mandated vaccines. If these healthcare workers who are educated in this and who are seeing the results of this every single day are walking away, they're not doing so without good reason. Okay? And we need to recognize that. Last year, like so many others, they were left out there with limited PPE and all kinds of things. They didn't have any protection. You left them out there. Last year, they were heroes. This year, they're being terminated. Our teachers, they're heroes, but they face termination. You know, without bodily autonomy, you are a slave. If you cannot stop somebody from sticking something in you, you are a slave, you are owned. Well, I'm here. Does anybody know who owns me? Everybody claims that I have to do these things, that my children has to do these things. Who owns me? Who owns my children? I'm not of this world. I'm only in this world. I'm waiting for the kingdom. I'm waiting for the second shot heard around the world. I've been waiting for 30 years. 30 years. Because I've sat here and seen things and nobody wanted to do anything as they slowly chipped away at our rights and perverted the law. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. This is it. We are at a precipice. I'm not doing it. Thank you.
I did have one request from those that are joining us on Zoom. If you could, please speak into the mic so that they can hear. A little bit of difficulty with the technology there.
Court Street. Why can't anybody from the district answer any questions about COVID? And we know you guys aren't allowed to answer questions. I haven't found one person that can answer any simple 2+2 questions about COVID and the mandates, the forced vaccine. Many of you know this is wrong. You know it's wrong. You're choosing to live a lie. This will cost lives, okay? This is a resilient community, but our children, the ones that need school the most, are not resilient, okay? They have nothing, and we lost them in the closures, and we're going to lose more to this forced vaccine. think my wife said it best when she said, "What a joke." Okay, and it's not funny. We're being asked to wear raincoats to protect other people from getting wet. Okay? What a shame. What a crime for these kids to not have school because we don't mask our kids because we don't think they're healthy. Okay? We're pro-choice. We hope you guys look in the mirror, and if you're for the mask and you're for the forced vaccination, then it's okay. But we know that people can't say where they personally stand, and we know nobody can answer questions. I've tried on the COVID safety committee. I'm not even allowed to email my boss. Okay? Who can answer questions? The district nurses can't. And I tell you one more thing, you talk about ruining lives. When the school counselor was arrested for not wearing a mask last spring, well, for one, is it really worth ruining someone's life who has children? Okay? Gonna ruin his life over a mask, okay, that we know doesn't work, that we can't talk about, okay? And I really urge the district on a human level, on a sweet home, one town, one school, one family, that you spare that man who has children that live in this community, okay? And I won't talk anymore about that, but there's a lot more that impacted me when that happened, okay? And thanks for hearing me.
Hello, my name is Manuel Grajeda. I live at 2730 Kelmaya. A lot of good stuff, what we heard already from a lot of the people in the audience. This is my third school board meeting that I attended. And so far, I've seen nothing positive. I see it doesn't even look like you want to be here. You guys just look, hurry up, say what you got to say so I can get home. I see it in all of you. Last thing. One of the things that I'm starting to learn is that you were put in place and you can also be removed. So I've been doing some work. I call the county clerk. I'm gonna get some paperwork, and I need to sit down individually with each of you one-on-one to find out where you stand personally. Because if you're not listening to them, we need you out. I was at the meet and greet for the superintendent, and I'm sorry, all three, I did not want. No one could not answer personally about the hot topic of mask and vaccine. They danced around it. So, just like you heard, we're gonna get louder. And if you don't want to stand up, resign, so we could put someone that will help us. This is crazy. This is crazy. But you know what? I heard a town of people saying, we will help each other, but yet we have people in position that don't want to do it. Go figure. A young lady had to ask a police officer, are you going to arrest me for not wearing a mask just to get in here? That's how difficult you guys are making it. You guys are making it difficult. You guys don't want to make a stand. You need to get out. We don't need you. But on the other hand, if you can talk to us, and if you can share, you know what am I going to do when I have to get this shot? Did you decide? My wife and I decided already we got our daughter out of high school. The best years. You guys are stealing it. When they come at my workplace and ask, you need to get it? Nope. I decided. I will cut lawns to make a living. So please, make a statement somehow. Forget about this paperwork and making it sound nice and good. Stand up. Do something to show me that you care. Because in the 3 meetings, I've heard a lot of this, and I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing that you guys are listening to what we are saying. So I feel already we're going to get names. We need to find out who to recall, and we're going to start the process. And one more thing. I got plenty of time on Saturdays to be out there in front of your sidewalk with signs. And I'll do that to make some noise. Thank you.
Thomas Beckler, 44237 North River Drive. I am not a public speaker by any means, but I'll tell you this, I'm passionate, very passionate about what's going on, and therefore it makes it easy for me to speak up here. I just want you guys to know one thing. We've been at this a while. We've started a group. You guys are about to wake up a sleeping giant. I am not kidding. You guys are about to wake up a sleeping giant because there is no way. I've been doing foster care. I run the Victory House. I've done over 500 boys in 17 years with my wife. I do it full time. I also have 2 biological girls, straight A girls. They were all failed last year. It was horrible to watch. Not only that, 2 of my girls, my biological girls, that have never had any mental health problems, are practically suicidal. There is no way in hell, I want you guys to know, our numbers are gonna grow, and they are gonna grow. And we will continue to look forward because this has gotta stop. This has got to stop.
Hello, my name is James Taylor. I live here in Sweet Home, 28458 Pleasant Valley Road. I'm a former student here at Sweet Home. I graduated here from Sweet Home High School. I'm now a 4th year or a college student at Oregon State University. I currently stand in opposition of the mandate to wear masks in school for a few brief reasons. The first one is the way that the mandates have been passed. They've been passed by an executive order instead of by a statute passed by the Oregon legislative branch. My second reason is the potential danger to the youths that are going to the school. Most of the time, school is considered a social event by the younger kids more than an educational event. They get to interact with their friends, they get to make new friends, they get to play outside. And masks have an unknown cause on their mental and psychological development. And I also stand in opposition due to the lack of equal opportunity. So, as I understand it currently, there's no way to form a exemption on the grounds of religious belief. There is medical exemptions, of course, because if you can't wear a mask medically and they're forced to, that's a danger of life. However, if I am mistaken about there not being a means to put in for a religious exemption, I believe that the religious exemption process should be posted publicly, and an email should be sent out to all of the parents who go to this, who have children that go to school in the school district. Back to the problem with the executive order. So an executive order, this is specifically done through the Oregon Health Authority. The Oregon Health Authority has been created by our legislative branch in a form of having executive power to pass rules, also called Oregon Administrative Rules. These Oregon Administrative Rules are essentially a breach around the legislative system. They are able to enact law, otherwise aliased as rules, without going through our legislative system. The reason we have a legislative branch and an executive branch is to separate the powers. The legislative branch has the ability to create the rules and the laws that we have to follow in our society. The executive branch is tasked with implementing and executing those laws, those rules. By giving the executive powers the ability to enact laws, we have essentially breached the core foundation of our country. I didn't elect a governor to enact laws. I elected legislative officials to vote on laws in place of myself. The governor should not have the ability to enact laws. Also, separate from this issue, I would like to make a comment on one of the questions you guys asked who you guys are voting on to join the board. When they were asked, what are the duties of a school board member? I didn't hear either of them say that their duties are to the students that go to the schools in this school district. Thank you for your time.
Don't want to cut anybody off, so I want to make sure that everybody has had a chance to speak.
Hi there, my name's Wanda Grajeda. This is my daughter Jessie. I pulled her out of your school district because I'm not going to force her to wear a mask at school. She's crying now because she heard some information about her friends. So it's just not affecting those people, it's affecting her too. This is like the third or fourth time I've been here too. And it does seem like you guys, nothing has been done about any of our concerns. Nothing has been done. And I didn't like any of the choices for superintendent either, nothing personal, but this is ridiculous. It's out there talking to Mr. Brown. I've talked with him before, he doesn't let you get a word in edgewise. It's ridiculous. I don't know what else to say too much because I'm wondering if anything's going to be done about it. Are you going to support us? I don't answer questions. Ridiculous.
I will answer that question real quick because it's a great segue into what I have here in front of me. This is actually the resolution that was passed at last month's board meeting, and it is a matter of public record. It's been sent to the governor. It's been passed through. So I'll read this one section. It says, whereas on July 29, 2021, Governor Kate Brown directed the Oregon Health Authority and the Oregon Department of Education to create a rule to require masks indoors for K-12 schools statewide for the upcoming 2021-22 school year. Now therefore let it be resolved that the Sweet Home School Board objects to the July 29 mask mandate for K-12 schools and supports the June 25 recovery order that returns governance to a local decision-making model so that communities can make the health and safety decisions that serve their students best. The board also supports the superintendent's operational safety plans, which includes allow students and staff the option to wear face coverings. The district will not require the use of face coverings by students or staff while welcoming those who would like to use face coverings. Be it further resolved that the board recognizes we want our schools to be safe and welcoming to all students, staff, and parents. The mask mandate divides the community and compels many families to consider withdrawing students from in-person instruction. The board's goal is to keep students in school and supply them with the best academic, athletic activities and wraparound support services possible while keeping students, staff, and families safe. We want students to be able to experience school smiling, grinning, and even frowning. We want students to be able to communicate and express themselves openly and freely, and we welcome, respect, and support students and staff who feel more safe and comfortable with masks. That is the official stance of this school board. So what I'm hearing a lot is you guys want to know where we stand. Thank you for asking. That is
Can I just reply to
official.
that real quick?
Yep.
I appreciate that, it sounds good, but are you gonna keep going or stop with that?
This is one step that we've taken.
Are you gonna continue to make those steps for the community? I mean, us personally, we're not gonna wear them, we don't wear them. Once you guys stand up even more so, I may consider putting my daughter back in the school district. I don't want that just to be the only thing. It's a good start, it's a good step, and I do appreciate that. I don't want it to stop with just that though.
My issue with what you just said is you just read that, but you're not following it. You are still having people mask up. You guys wouldn't even let us in this building. You guys were trying to fight us from getting in this building. You say you sent that, but you don't believe your own damn words. I have a problem with that. If you say it, do it. Because otherwise, we, as a people, are going to hold you accountable. Hold yourselves accountable for what you guys sent to the governor, and then we're all good. It's very simple. All you have to do is follow your own word. Do it. Do it. Be our lions. Your job is to be our lions. That's what we're asking you to do. Be the voice of the very people that are in your community. Be the voice of the people that are trying to protect our children the way we want to protect our children. Be our lions, please.
Once again, I'm not going to cut anybody short. All right. I want to say thank you to everybody for coming and voicing your opinions. It is appreciated. We do represent the community, and we want to make sure that you guys have an opportunity to voice your opinions. So, thank you again. All right, moving forward, certified and classified representatives. Steve, I see you over there.
You think that former student put this down here knowing I was coming out? I don't know. Hey, as you know, I'm union president now. I didn't have anything else going on, so I stepped in. First of all, I got to thank you guys, because it has to be very difficult, and I do appreciate you guys, and the administration and stuff, to have barbs thrown at you, have personal attacks, and have all that, and then tell somebody thank you. You know what? I know you're serving, and Kevin, I don't know what you think you got yourself into here, but I do. It is appreciated, and I know you guys are in a difficult situation.
Thanks.
So let me give you something. We've started school. We've started school with more students than I thought we were going to have. Those numbers are up. My classrooms are full, and I'm the teacher that says, give me more desks. Isn't that right, Ralph? Yeah? Bring them in. And we have been serving. There are kids getting in trouble. There are kids having fun. We are playing sports. We are living as close to, this isn't normal, but we are knocking at the door of it. And getting through this, you know, you want to talk Bible. Bible talks about perseverance and how that builds character, and character hope, and hope does not disappoint us. That's biblical. Joshua 1:9, it even says that our Lord our God is with us wherever we go. So, you know what? We're going every day into school. And I want this school board to know you have some teachers to be very proud of. And you have some administration to be proud of. And that's just, I'm not talking as a union director. I'm talking Steve Thorpe. 31 years. Starts 31 years here, Jim. 31 years. And as a community member and as a class of 86, which we already established, Julie, is the best class here. So, what's happening in our schools is we're teaching. We're overwhelmed right now because it's been 18 months since we've taught 7 periods a day. And it's been a long time, and trying to find the time to do what we need to do on Canvas and fit our lesson plans in, it's kind of rough right now. It's taken a little more work than I think anybody could have foreseen. I know it's a lot more than what I thought I was going to be doing, but students are there. We're having a great time. Coach Rosa is already planning up activities, and students are coming into class, and you know, it's I'm excited to have them back, you know, but if I have to wear a mask to have them back, I'm okay with it. And the students are sure liking being with each other, and they are liking traveling, and they're liking doing sports, and they're liking, you know, I talked to my students the other day, a bunch of them in choir, and they're having a great time. And students are, it's nice to be back, but like I told my first set, we have a quiz on Wednesday, and that's the first I got. So I'm okay with that. But I want to thank you guys again. Know that we're working very hard, and right now working with Kevin and Lisa and our Roxanne and on a MOU, trying to get some stuff nailed down for leave and for how this is going to work, because June 25th, we didn't think we'd need it, right? But we're working on it, and we've had 2 meetings, and they've been incredible. Working, it's kind of nice when you can work with somebody. And so, but yeah, yeah, I'm glad I'm at 31 years and not 1, okay? So that's going to turn a few away, but we're getting our work done, and we're doing the things we need to do to be successful in that classroom. And the students, it's great to have them and to see them, and the laughing and the breezeways and the hallways and all that is it's very refreshing. I'm seeing it. I'm there. So, but thank you guys, and I guess if you guys have any questions for me about what school looks like. I'm just talking at the high school. I'm not grade school, and God knows I won't be at the junior high. So, Mark, yeah. So, you guys have any questions for me?
I'm used to the long-winded speeches, Steve.
Yeah, you bet,
You
Jim.
know, I've heard them a lot,
Yeah.
you know, but I appreciate you and I appreciate all you guys do at the high school and everything, and I want the teachers to know that we do appreciate them and all they do and all the hard work that goes into working with the students at this time. And I know that whether you support masks or don't support masks, you're in a tough position just like we are, and I appreciate that you hanging in there and all the teachers hanging in there.
I'll just tell you, the minute they say I can take this off, Jim, I'm gonna have a hard time finding it again.
Oh, me too.
So,
I think we're all that way.
yeah. All right? Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Thorpe.
Is Alma here tonight?
I am here. I'm online today. I went to the boardroom and I didn't think to stop by there. It was like, okay, fine, I'll come home and do it online. I echo everything Steve was saying. I mean, you know, I'm up at the junior high this year instead of the grade school, but I'll tell you, those kids love being there. This morning before school, no, I take it back, it was after 7th grade lunch. One of the boys came out with a foosball to play foosball, and he was the only one out of lunch. So I played a game of foosball with him, and you know what? Those kids don't care that they have masks on because they're sure busy playing that foosball table. They make those things go around so fast, it's incredible. You know, they're just, like Steve said, they're happy to be there. I haven't seen any of them truly complain about having to wear a mask. They're happy to be there. And I'm so happy to have kids back. It's fun. They're our kids. They're our future. We got to celebrate them and do what we need to do for them. Thanks, guys. I know you guys work hard.
Thank you, Velma. Appreciate it. All right. Superintendent's report, Lisa.
Thank you, Chair Reddick and directors. I want to, first of all, just echo what both of the association presidents have said. It's been really a pleasure to work with them, working on the memorandum and getting to know them and knowing that everyone's interest is students first, and that's so wonderful. So the first board meeting that I attended was your special session and didn't have a chance to really speak. So I want to take a few moments to just talk about the journey to this position and just thank you and say I'm deeply honored and thrilled to be selected as the new superintendent. And I really am looking forward to calling Sweet Home my home as I'm entering this town and looking for a wonderful place to set up. I want to extend my gratitude to the entire school board, and not only for the appointment, but for your professionalism, your integrity certainly was shared within the process. It's obvious that you took the community's input seriously, as you do again tonight, listening to everyone's viewpoints and their concerns of their students, and again, realizing that everyone with differing opinions still have students and their best interests at heart. This may have been a later call to the position than typical, but I know the time and energy it took to capture the engagement of families and staff and our community was certainly a testimony to your commitment to keep students first. I look forward to working with each of you in advance to advance academic achievement and to realize the full vision and mission of the school district. So I also wanted to speak on behalf of my relationship and getting to know this district was really valuable with Superintendent Yaris. And his legacy of Sweet Home is certainly cemented. The innovation that I see, the academic achievement, the graduation rates, it's exemplary. And I know that even through COVID pandemic and these issues surrounding us that are quite controversial, we will move forward collectively together. It's not in just my hands as the superintendent, but it's in the hands of obviously our great district leaders and teachers and principals. And I look forward to learning with them as well. We have an outstanding district, and the work that everyone has been doing, whether we consider this time exciting in many different ways, we certainly understand the gravity of this moment and continue to forge our work together. I know that change of a new superintendent is also brings some level of anxiety, but I want to reassure you that together we will honor the rich traditions that we hear from people like Steve Thorpe and all of the graduates that I've met and continue to meet, and celebrate our successes and build a stronger future. To our parents, I've served as a teacher, principal, a myriad of positions in district offices, and now as superintendent of Sweet Home. But really my role as a parent is what has provided me a lot of learning and a lot of reasons why I'm here today. So I want you to know that everything that I desire for my children, we want to instill and uphold in this district, and that to let you know that every Sweet Home School District student deserves everything that we want to provide them and the most excellent of education. To our educators and leaders and staff, I also want to let you know that I value and respect you as professionals and experts of your craft. And I look forward to collaborating with you because we will build and continue to be one team with one vision and mission. The community leaders that I've met and also those that I still will look forward to meeting, the partnership that we have is so valuable and we can't do this work without. So it's so nice to see that everyone is interested in collaboration, seeing what we can do to support our district and our families, both being fiscally responsible and also sharing the work. It's needed and welcomed and certainly appreciated, and we want to continue that. Most importantly, to our students, I understand firsthand the importance of providing rich opportunities to strengthen our skills and talents and support to each and every one of their aspirations for success in school now and career and in their lives. We will elevate and honor, and we are here because of our students. And so again, even within controversy, I think we see that we're all here for that. So again, I just wanted to say those few things, and again, thank the board for entrusting me with the school district, working with you, and for the opportunity that I look forward to starting this new chapter and all that we will accomplish together. We also have some reports and some great news with the start. I'll start with the great news first, and that is that OSAA has reached out to our district, and they have what is called the Sportsmanship Award nomination, and a congratulations that I'd like to share with the board first and then pass on to others. But they were writing us to congratulate us on the recent sportsmanship nomination. This is a recognition program that gives OSAA sport officials the opportunity to highlight the positive sportsmanship that they see on the field. Each program that receives a nomination is eligible to receive the OSAA Sportsman Award for their activity, which includes 100 OSAA Cup points for our school. I have to find out what those Cup points really are. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, in a recent game, I think I probably was at that game, our varsity football program exhibited a great quality that OSAA looks for in teams, programs, and communities across the state. And the game officials noticed and made this recommendation. So I wanted to share this with you and with our community, and to Ralph, and also on behalf of Ryan Adams, because that varsity football team really showed some sportsmanship, and I'm very proud of them. So let's congratulate them. All right. We also have we have COVID updates just so people are familiar with what we are doing. Of course, we want people to know that we are concerned about our families, staff, and most importantly, our students. We do have some quarantine students and staff, about approximately 61, just wanted you to share. And out of those, some positive cases, and then some of exposure that, of course, continue to be looked after. We also have our updates of our enrollment, and I know that Colleen has put this together and is happy to share. You have in front of you a very large sheet if you'd like to go over that. And Colleen, I know that you're at the district office doing all things IT, but would you like to share, or would you like us to take on?
Yeah, I'm happy. I know this, thank you, Superintendent Riggs. I know this report looks different than what is listed in the packet, and Director Van Eck and Director Hoffman, this report is attached to the Zoom calendar invite, so you can have a copy and pull that up as well. So this is a combination of all of the hard work by both our office staff and our district office staff in combining these numbers and filling in the gaps when all of our systems don't necessarily talk very nicely to each other. So thank you to those front office staff and to the district office staff who've been working hard to get these numbers as accurate as possible for you tonight. So on the left side of the very large page, or Director Van Eck and Director Hoffman, page number 1 in the PDF, you're going to look at 3 columns. The first is in-person learning, and you can see the counts by school and grade level for students who have been enrolled in in-person learning for the start of this school year. The middle column is students whose parents have selected online learning for the start of this school year. And the final column is the grand total, both by school and grade level, so that you can see in each section what those breakdowns look like. And then on the second page, we've filtered out just our online students by grade level so that you can have that data as well. We don't have data for our Sweet Home Charter School, but we expect to have all of this finalized and updated for you for our next board meeting in October.
Thank you, Colleen. As we do this, you continue to see that we have online supports increasing. We sort of talk about how it's doing a little of everything. We have in-school brick and mortar, and then also supporting our online choices as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so next we have the consent agenda. Approve the minutes from the August 9, 2021 school board meeting and August 16, 2021 special board meeting. Approve the hire of Alexis Shelton, temporary 5th grade teacher at Hawthorne Elementary for 21-22 school year, effective 8/30/2021. Approve the hire of Samantha McMahon, temporary 2nd grade teacher at Foster Elementary for the 2021-2022 school year, effective 8/30/2021. Approve the hire of Richard Smithson, special ed teacher at the high school for the 2021-2022 school year, effective 8/30/2021. Approve the hire of Jennifer Ashcraft, .25 Spanish teacher at the junior high for the 2021-2022 school year, effective 8/30/2021. Approve the hire of Laura Parrish, biology life science at the high school for the 2021-2022 school year, effective 8/30/2021. Approve the hire of Mitchell Robinson, district behavior specialist for the 2021-2022 school year. Accept the resignation of David McNeil, science teacher at the high school, effective immediately. Accept the resignation of Hannah Mather, TOSA counselor at Foster Elementary, effective immediately. Accept the resignation of Taylor Rash, special education at the Sweet Home High School, effective when position is filled. And accept the resignation of Monica Turkisher, kindergarten teacher at Foster Elementary, effective when the position is filled.
Mr. Chair, there was a change from what was online here. The August 16th, 2021 was not on the online thing, so if the
Okay.
folks at home on Zoom do not have the updated copy, it will not say August 16th, 2021. Is yours? Mike?
Mine says 8:30. I understand what you're talking about.
The very first.
The
Under the consent agenda A.
yeah,
Oh,
meeting minutes for the
it
August
says August 16th on mine.
16th.
Okay, mine did not.
Okay, okay. So yeah, just to point out, that is, it may be a change from what some of you are seeing on your agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on any of those items? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Do we still have Jason?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, there was some hearing difficulties, but I think we're back.
Okay,
Yeah, we can barely hear you.
good. I'll pull this mic a little bit closer. So,
That was the whole group that we had our here.
okay, okay. All right, and any opposed to the consent agenda? All right, so that motion passes. All right, information discussion, budget update, Esser report, and 2020-2021 student investment account report. Kevin.
Okay, thanks, Jason. Starting with the budget, item 7A in the board packet, year-to-date spending through August 31st for the general fund was up nearly $200,000 compared to the same time period the previous year. Three primary reasons for that, and the first one I would consider to be a good one. It showed that we were doing a much more effective job serving students this summer. Our labor expenses were up, and the two categories where labor expenses showed the most significant increase. One was for lifeguards, and we were serving the community and serving students this summer, which was nice. The second area for labor that was up the most was for bus drivers, and our bus drivers were transporting students to and from summer school this summer that we were able to have. Their cost is part of our district match towards the grant that we have for summer school. So it was just exciting to see that we are serving students again, and that really were the driving reasons for why our labor expenses were higher. Second reason overall in the budget why we're up, water expenses. Part of this was at the school level, we did have a little bit more usage related to summer school. I think at the junior high school too, I noticed they were up a bit, and I see a nice garden growing there, and so I'm sure water helps for that. But the most significant reason, our high school fields for irrigation, the rate stayed the same compared to the prior year. It was usage where it was up significantly. Some of that is related to having the fields ready for fall sports, but also the jamboree. After that, we pour a lot of water to get those fields green again, and we had the jamboree back again this summer as well. And then the third reason, and we talked about this last month, and it'll be a continuing story this month or this year, our property insurance expenses are up substantially over last year. Part of that affects everyone. Replacement costs are higher with the higher construction costs, and so everyone statewide is seeing higher premiums because of that. But in our case too, we did have a couple of claims in the past 2 years related to some water damage that happened during construction at a couple of our schools that have resulted in higher rates for us. And then also with the junior high, it has a higher replacement value now with the construction project there being completed, and that had an impact on rates as well. So that's it for the general fund.
I do have a follow-up question on the,
yes.
on the water consumption you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
How is that any different than any other year, I guess?
Okay, so comparing the summer of 2020 to the summer of 2021, In the summer of 20, we didn't have fall sports, and so we weren't getting
So
the
not really any
fields
different
and
than
soft.
2 or 3 years ago, just different than last year.
Yeah, 2020 was down in usage just because no jamboree and no fall sports that we were preparing for. And so now it's bounced back usage to more similar to where
Okay,
we
that makes
normally
sense.
are.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on in the board packet, next page. The Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund, Esser spending. This is a report we want you to see every month how we are using our federal Esser dollars. You can see right here our Esser 1 allocation is fully spent. We're now working on our Esser 2 and Esser 3 allocations, and we're just going to continue to include this in the board packet every month so you can see where those dollars are going. And then the next page, the student investment account. We wrapped up the first year of the student investment account. This is our year-end report. This report we will share with the Oregon Department of Education, and it is also to be shared with the school board and the community. And so the purpose of the student investment account is to improve student outcomes. The first page kind of includes some background information about it. The second page shows our spending report, and it compares what we actually spent to what was budgeted. And we did have some variances, and they show in the variance column. Negative variance means we underspent, so that would be a favorable variance. And then a positive variance means that we spent more than the budget. Really, for us, the main line items that had significant variances dealt line activities 4 and 5 that were for a behavior facilitator. We had hired for that position, but our behavior facilitator left mid-year, and we were not able to replace her. And so we had a favorable variance because she left early. And then what we did is we used that savings towards smaller class sizes. And so that shows in our instructional programming, license salary, and license benefit lines. And that explains then why those have what you could consider to be unfavorable variances. So in total, our total allocation was $597,638. And in total, that's exactly what we spent. Just the individual line items, there were some that were over and some that were under, but we get to the same total.
All right, any questions for Kevin? Okay, thanks, Kevin.
Thanks.
All right, the facility report, Josh.
All right, hello, how are you guys? So facilities-wise, we're doing pretty good. We're struggling with personnel for custodial staff. I keep getting texts from schools. They got people out from having to quarantine because of somebody else sick or their guy's sick or different things. So we're struggling there. So if hopefully we can hang on with that. We're looking forward to looking at our long-range facilities planning. That's going to be kicking off again. We tried, and then COVID hit, and we've been just spinning with this whole thing. So we look forward to that, which includes community and different groups. So it'll be fun for Lisa to get to do that with us and look to the future with that. I look forward to the next projects we get to do here and what the future looks like. Any questions for me with facilities?
We're not really frowning, it's just the lights in our eyes.
I could have turned them up brighter for you.
Yeah, I saw you did.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. All right, we have no action items. Do we have any board comments tonight? Okay, hearing none. We have no late items. Future agenda items. Next board officers meeting is October 4th, 2021 at 3:30 p.m. at the superintendent's office. Next board meeting, October 11th, 2021, 6:30 in the district office boardroom. I don't think we need to add anything there, do we? All right, we're adjourned.